A rare amber cold health warning covering all of England is still in place across the country as the UK saw the coldest January night in 15 years over the weekend.
Well, joining us now, we've been talking about you all morning, Elaine Yates. You're a 75-year-old former carer and you are finding it very hard to put the heating on higher than 13 degrees, partly because, of course, you lost your winter fuel payment and you're still waiting to hear from the Department for Work and Pensions, Benefits Department, whether you are eligible for pension credit. Very good morning to you. And good to see you there in Northampton. Just how chilly is it right now?
It's pretty cold. It's cold in here, I'll be honest.
And so when you found out that the government was taking away your winter fuel payment, what was your thought then, a couple of months ago?
It was cruel. It was disgusting. You know, I give 19 years of my life helping the government, if you like, saving them so much money, and the only reward I get is that they take £300 a year off me. Absolutely despicable. I couldn't believe it. Because
you were a carer for your husband, so, as you say, you've made an enormous contribution, saved the government money. What do you do now? We've had a really cold snap. What do you think about when you think, I need to put the heating on it, 13 degrees is not going to keep me warm?
I just have to cope with it because, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. I don't use my oven, unless it's really... I think I had 5 cooked meals in that oven last year. I'd rather have the heating on because of my lung disease. If there's mould in the house, then obviously my asthma will be worse, and I have to consider my health. It's cruel.
The government says
you have to make a choice between.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
You have to make a choice between eating or eating.
Elaine, the government says they had no choice. They had to make tough decisions. There was a big problem with the national budget, a big black hole. And they said there are lots of pensioners who don't need this winter allowance. How do you feel when you hear the government ministers say that?
It's disgusting. Now, I do agree that probably there are some people that can cope, that have big pensions and what have you. But there's a high amount of people like myself that are having to cope on a very small budget. I'm not the only one, and it's cruel. Then if you try and contact them, you're told to use the internet. A lot of people can't use the internet.
Tell us about your attempts to find out if you're eligible for pension credit. If you are, it means that your winter fuel allowance will be restored. But that's not been an easy process for you, has it?
No, it's not. And I was also told that there is a time limit as to when they will pay them. So even if they say, yes, you are entitled to it, I've been told I may not even get it.
So you applied for pension credit, you received a letter saying you were entitled and you would get it. You were then told on a helpline, no, you didn't qualify for pension credit. You appeared on this programme last November and afterwards received a letter from DWP saying you might be eligible for pension credit. The online calculator says...
Yes, I may...
Yeah. I mean, that's confusing,
isn't it? I may be eligible.
So what's the latest, Elaine?
Absolutely. I've heard nothing, absolutely nothing from that date. So I don't know whether I'm entitled to it or not.
The thing is, Elaine, if there is a cut-off for getting that winter allowance from December, if you applied before Christmas, it's not your fault if the Department of Work and Pensions spends days, weeks, even months assessing your application. Surely they should backdate it to when you put your application in, and you should get your winter allowance if you qualify.
You would think that that's right, but I suppose the point is that so many people have, there's such a backlog of sort of having to make sure that they've done all these people, helped all these people that, I might be one I sometimes say perhaps because my name is at the bottom of the alphabet, I come back at the back, and I may lose it if I get it, if I'm entitled to it. But I did assume if they wrote to me and told me that I was entitled to it, I would get it.
Yeah, I think it is not acceptable that you've been left in a very confused situation, but particularly it's not acceptable that if you are entitled to it, you should absolutely have it. We spoke to the government and they said that we continue to work at pace to process pension credit claims, with a 51% increase in the number of cleared pension credit claims since July. Unfortunately, that doesn't help you, Elaine. They also said they have a commitment to the triple lock. Millions of pensioners are set to see their state pension rise by up to £1,900 this Parliament. Does that offset the loss of the winter fuel allowance for you?
No, I don't know. I don't think so, because the cost of my heating, I mean, I'm panicking. Last week it was £42 just for the week, just over £42 for the week. You know, it's far above the monthly amount that I pay my utility people.
Goodness me.
Dear me. Elaine, we're getting loads and loads of people saying this is terrible and can they help? But it's the government's job to make sure that you get the help you need. And it's really upsetting to hear that you are keeping the temperature at 13 degrees and not using your oven because you are so worried. And the government says they're taking the winter allowance away from people who don't need it. It feels to me that you're one of the people who absolutely needs it.
Well, thank you. I wish they thought the same, but, you know, I just wait and hope that it will arrive. But like I say, there's so many people the same as myself that, you know, it's going to be a long process, and I don't understand why they picked on the pensioners to help save money.
No, I agree, Elaine, and that is a question a lot of people are still scratching their heads asking, especially in your case, someone who has spent almost 20 years caring for your late husband, and you yourself have asthma, lung problems, sarcoidosis and arthritis, conditions exacerbated by the cold and inadequate heating. Look, we send you our enormous support, and we will be putting your case to the Cabinet Minister, Pat McFadden, who joins us in just a couple of minutes. And as Ed said, Elaine, a number of people already getting in touch to say they wish that they could help, and a number of those people, pensioners themselves. So thank you to those people, but we will ask the government what they're going to do for you.